Guys, welcome back to more Arknights. I feel like every single time I'm gonna record a new video, I will have to show you that I actually playing the game, and so far I'm kinda in a glazing mode. So basically anything related to the Arknights I'm like super keen to watch, react to, and we will also playing some on the stream. Because recently I watched the only Arknight lore that I ever need, part 1. Today we're gonna do the part 2 obviously. But before we jump into this video, I gotta say, if you're here for more Arknights, guys, maybe consider to stay a little longer, because after reading all these comments and the stories and like recommendation, I'm not joking if I say I have probably like 15 videos to react to when it comes to the Arknight. Not to mention 2 of them are more than 1 hour long, so maybe consider subscribe. And join the Discord, that's the best way how to know when I post the new video and stuff. But I'm yapping too much.
Welcome
Let's
back
get
to
started.
Historian Part 2. I guess this will be where we shall be looking at the known
Also, I have to mention the art. The art,
races
amazing.
and threats on Terra in the Arknights universe. If you haven't seen Part 1, then do check out
Beautiful.
our first video. Anyway, let's begin with the races, then threats.
Actually, seeing this, I believe there are some animated trailers or like 3D animations to the Arknight. Maybe let me know if you want a reaction to it as well. Well, let's be real, I'm gonna do it either way.
There are many beautiful, interesting, and marvelous races on Terra. However,
This is Hogwarts.
It is important to make it clear that all races have differences. Some races are younger than others.
Don't tell me this is... I don't know how I feel about it. Like, first I thought this is literally like school, like full of children, but seeing like his beard or mustache, it's probably like 45.
Races are younger than others. Some enjoy conflicts and wars. Others want peace.
This is gonna be
or
my
to make an
favorite
impact
arc.
on the world. But interestingly, a vast majority of races aren't even native to Terra.
This is the main
These races
character,
can be
Amiya,
categorized
right?
as ancients and elders races, while other races with 𝙉𝙀𝙒𝙀𝙀 heritage are the native races. To make this easier, we shall break down the races in selections: ancients, elders, 𝙉𝙀𝙒, and others. An interesting question that normally comes up within Arknight's lore is, can an individual have a child with someone from a different race? If so, what race would that child be? If 2 people from different races do have a child, they will either be one or the other race. A 50-50, let's say, of what their
about
child
mix?
would be. An example would be, if a feline or a libri had a child, it would be either a feline or a libri. It can't be a mixture of the 2. However, they will take traits of their parents, either hair color, eye color, for example. Ancient races are the largest category for races. They are also one of the 2 categories of races that aren't native to Terra. Our first race we shall speak about is the 𝙉𝙀𝙒𝙀𝙀, based on aquatic creatures.
Oh my god. I feel like I have 3 of them. Well, now I'm more excited about like knowing more. Also, like this dude, well, he looks kind of interesting. Like he looks cool. Like his appearance, like the fashion style and coloring.
This race comes from the nation of 𝙉𝙀𝙒. Others can be found on the mainland, such as Iberia or Higashi. The 𝙉𝙀𝙒, though, are somewhat strangers to the races of the land. 𝙉𝙀𝙒 also have been in a long conflict with the Seaborn, a background threat that threatens to simulate the rest of the world, though it seems that the 𝙉𝙀𝙒 are one of the reasons for the Seaborn to be pushed that way. A tale for another time. One outstanding thing about the 𝙉𝙀𝙒 is that they are unbelievably arrogant and stuck up. Since the 𝙉𝙀𝙒 have more advanced technology compared to any of the races on the land, they tend to look down on them and see themselves as superior.
Yeah,
Probably
that
one
kind
of
of
the
makes
most
sense.
popular and populated race is the felines. This race is based on cats and can be mainly found in Victoria. However,
It kind of like with the name, right? Felines,
they
giving
can
me
still be
the
found
that
all
kind of
over
vibe.
Terra. There are overall 39 operators in Arknights.
Ooh,
that are
I got
playable
this one
who
as
are
well.
Felines. Aslans are thought to be a separate race to felines. However, this is not true. Aslans are felines that have self-appointed themselves to a more nobility race. However,
Lion
they still
race.
do rule Sargon with power, and eventually moving to Victoria and now fighting over the throne there against the Dracos. The Vori are based on wyverns or lesser dragons. This race can be found around
Really?
in Sargon, where they potentially originated from and have ventured to Victoria.
Thought it's gonna be
Flora
like elves.
are known to have higher physical strength and endurance than most.
Yo, like who is this dude? Like I feel like I've never seen him. Well, I playing the game only for like 1 month, and like there are 300 characters or maybe plus more. I guess it's maybe like the coloring, because like everything is when it's red, it kind of like highlights the character even more. Dude actually looks like it would be fun to play him.
Most other
Or
races.
like in a game.
𝙉𝙀𝙒𝙀𝙀, the race with deer-like traits. This race can mainly be found in Lithuania, but also in the far north in Sami. You can find other
this looks
𝙉𝙀𝙀 in Victoria and Yan.
Wait a minute, like who was this group?
North in Sami,
This guy
you can
looks
find
actually
other
like
𝙉𝙀𝙀
really
in
grumpy.
Victoria.
But like this one, I don't know, like this reminds me like 14th, 13th centuries, some like a king advisor who like never dare to like pick up the shovel in the entire life and like just like keep shoveling some food in his like
And
throat
Yan.
all the time.
There is also a
The other one
potential
looks
subrace
freaking
of
fine.
𝙉𝙀𝙀𝙀 that are based with traits from giraffes. With equine traits and features, Kurunta are based on horses and even zebras. Kuruntas are known to be born with fast running and stamina. A vast majority of Kuruntas are born in Casimir,
That's
the land
interesting.
of the knights.
Zebra?
And Kuruntas, currently the only known race to have 2 elder race siblings, which we will get on to later.
Wait a minute. Is this that like guy that like everyone is memeing? Why are we seeing only the silhouette?
Lupo, the wolves of terror.
No.
This race is mainly found within 𝙉𝙀𝙒𝙀𝙀, but also can be found in other places such as Sargon and Victoria. Horn's family came from Sargon and ended up in Victoria. 𝙉𝙀𝙀𝙀, the second highest most operators in Arknights, of 35 operators.
Ooh, okay.
𝙉𝙀𝙀𝙀 are based on birds. Most 𝙉𝙀𝙀𝙀 can be found.
I feel like sometimes when I sing the character, I would never guess like that the animal is gonna be like the bird, the zebra. Obviously you can know like the cat or like some type of like furry, but well, 4 minutes in and like
in
I'm already
Colombia,
shocked.
Iberia, and a few in Laterano.
Is there gonna be like dolphin like character?
Having similar traits to Lupo, and sometimes confused with Lupo, this race is actually based on foxes. Volpo
I would
can be
kinda
found
guess so.
in 𝙉𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀, Colombia, and Sami. Archosauria, having traits from crocodilians, they also have similar pointy ears to.
Okay, this literally looks like a dragon-like character. Also, I don't know, like the face like crystallizing around her like cheeks. But the bird is like really cute. Never seen this character by the way.
Others, like Sarkaz
Would
and
kinda
Vivori.
like to have it in
From
my
what we do
collection.
know, majority of the males are anthropomorphic, while females aren't. This could be a case of sexual dimorphism.
What the fuck? Well, I don't know what to say. Just like seeing these two like different like species on the same picture kind of giving me a creepy
This race
vibes.
comes from Sargon. Anura, a race based on frogs. This race came from Sargon. Across
Rock?
some parts of Terra, including Iberia, where they are treated roughly and used as experiments. We only know of one Anura, and that is Blue Poison, who is based on the Blue Poison dart frog.
Oh,
A
okay.
race we don't know much about is the Manticore, and despite being based on
Yo, this character looks dope. This is the character I need to have in my collection. Also, like, look at that lion. This art looks
a mythical
amazing.
creature, this race can be found in small parts of Sargon, and are rare, or they just want to keep away from other races.
She
Caprinae,
kinda looks rare.
one of the common races found in Lithuania. The Caprinae have treats from goats
Ooh.
and sheep. Cultus, the rabbit and the hare race, mainly found and born in Rambilliton. Cerato is based on rhinos, with the classic rhino
Okay, show me.
on their forehead. We know of one Cerato, and that is
Ah,
Bubbles.
okay.
If felines are the cat people of Terra, then the Pero are the dog people of Terra.
This is actually character I was recommend to get from the event, so I think I'm gonna play the event on the stream and get this character. Like, if I'm gonna be completely honest, seeing these 3 characters on the same picture literally everyone having a different vibes. Like I would guess like all of them are 3 different species.
This race can mainly be found in Bolivar. Petram are similar to Anura. There is currently one known character in the game, but Petram are based on tortoises and turtles. Not much is known about this race, other than there are small Petram settlements around Terra that house excellent or great craftsmen.
I actually wonder, like, seeing that only few characters or few races, we only having a few characters, is this like intentional, or maybe these like specific characters didn't do, you know, that much well when it comes to players' interest, so to speak, so they like stop producing more characters?
However, we do know more about the next race, which is the Pythia, based on serpents and having snake-like tails and pointy ears to other races. Pythia, like snakes of the real world, have acute and delicate senses.
Oh my god.
Pythia are rare or at least uncommon race. Despite this, they can be found all over Terra. The Forte race have traits from bovines and camelids. The Forte are the main inhabitants of Minos. Pilosa, another race that only has one known character. This race is based on sloths, and that's all we know about them. Anate are a race based on otters,
what is
weasels,
this?
and raccoons. Rubber are based on hyenas. Nothing much is known other than they come from Sargon. Savara are a race based on lizards and some amphibians.
I don't know, like sometimes it's mind-blowing to seeing like characters coming from the same race. Like comparing the left one with the right one, like totally different thing.
The land of Ursus, like we mentioned, was named after this bear-like race.
I've never seen like 90% of these characters.
The Zalax are based on rodents including rats, mice and squirrels. Zalax can also be found all over Terra and known to have acute senses. Hailing from
what is
beyond
this
Terra,
animation?
the Elder Races, once mighty rulers who overshadowed their ancient brethren in power, held dominion over the nations. However, their numbers have dwindled, leaving only a handful of nations under their rule. Their forms bear resemblance to mythical creatures of our own world. Draco, with traits based on European dragons in mythology, they are famous for their racial gift over fire manipulation.
Damn, that's
they also
interesting.
have increased vitality and strength. Dracos became rulers of Victoria and Tara, a piece of land that became a part of Victoria. Eventually, getting in conflict with the self-appointed Aslans over the throne. Over the years, the Dracos have become rarer and potentially extinct. We only know of 3 Dracos in Arknights: Reed, her sister Eblana, and Tallulah. Hippogriff Libri. This elder race of Libri is based on hippogriffs in mythology, and once ruled over the nation that is now.
I don't know, but like my very first impression, like this guy or like the race is kind of, or at least like feels noble. You know what I mean?
Ursus. However, like we mentioned previously,
Russia.
This race failed to protect their land, and the Ursus rebelled. While they already are dethroned, they have kept their nobility status and known to have longer lifespans.
Actually, this dude is reminding me 𝙉𝙀𝙒𝙀𝙀 from Arknight and Field. Am I crazy? Like they having a like very similar stance or like vibes.
Kitsune. This elder race, based on the nine-tailed fox, are found in Higashi. They are said to be religious leaders and have some sort of connection to the founding of the nation. Kukulkan, based on the Mayan-plumed serpent, and an elder race. However, after the loss of their abilities, now they practice an odd ritual.
No gonna lie, this chick gave me like 3 different vibes.
However,
in like
after
2
the loss
freaking
of their
frames.
abilities, now
Looking nice, gentle, like very like, you know, very innocent little
they
being.
practice
A little bit cheerful.
an
Crazy ass character.
odd ritual, which reduce their lifespan greatly, but gain the collective memory of their ancestors. One thing about this race is that we don't know if they are categorized as an Elder Pythia or an Elder Libri. Kylan, based on the Qilin, a mythical beast from China, is an elder race found in Yan. Not much is known about them. 𝙉𝙀𝙒𝙖𝙀𝙀 is the only known member of this race so far. While 𝙁𝙀𝙀s are the dragons of the west, the lungs are the dragons from the east. Lungs are found in Yan, and one of the main ruling races of Yan. The Emperor is a lung, and the ruling family of lungs are often known as the True Lung.
That's the from the...
𝙁𝙀𝙒𝙀𝙀 is, in fact, the older twin brother of the Emperor of Yan. 𝙁𝙁𝙀𝙀𝙀, one of the two Kuranta elder races. This elder...
Yo, this character. I don't know, like Loki, even this character looks pretty badass. And I know, like, we actually know, or we actually see the picture of this previous guy. We actually seen this dude, like, in the previous lore. But, like, this, I don't even know if it has, like, a, you know, like a physical hat. But Loki, maybe it's the art, maybe it's the, like, color grading, or, like, the red kinda, like, horns, like, helm. Dude is looking really ominous.
One of the two Kuranta elder races. This elder race of Kuranta once struck fear into the people's hearts of Terra, and led a conquest across Terra, from around the north
this is some,
of Terra
like...
to 𝙉𝙀 and then back to the north again, where they are hardly seen again.
That's some huge
However,
tension right there.
There are small clans around in the north, potentially, and in 𝙉𝙀. 𝙁𝙁𝙁 are based on folklore called the Nightmare or the Mare, which is seen in Dutch, German, Norse and English folklores and stories. The 𝙁𝙁𝙁 are known to have a racial gift to use illusion arts. Despite this, they seem to have a sense and culture over honor and glory. Pegasus Kuranta is one of the races that stood up against their sibling race of the 𝙁𝙁𝙁 and protected their homeland Casimir. Pegasus Kuranta are based on the mythological creature the Pegasus. Pegasus Kuranta still hold strong respect and force within their land, but slowly their authority has dwindled over time, after holding back the 𝙁𝙁𝙁. This elder race is famous for its control over light and illumination art. Pegasus Kuranta also seem to share a same trait of light-colored hair.
Is this actually a playable character? I don't know, like the face looks a little bit blurry, so I would have like different feelings. I actually think I've seen like this face like in a game. I have no freaking idea if this dude is strong or not, but like just solely based on the appearance, this is literally like a must pull.
Such as white, blonde, and gold. Other potential elder races we may have are an elder race of 𝙉𝙀𝙁, the Tula family, another elder race of Kuranta, the Unicorn Kuranta, an elder race of Pero, the Cerberus
What
Pero.
is it?
The 𝙉𝙀𝙀 are one of the native races of Terra. Eventually, they took the name the 𝙉𝙀 after losing their home in a war against the foreign races. However, there are many different 𝙉𝙀 subraces, as well as sibling races, which we shall get into now. The normal 𝙉𝙀 are known as 𝙉𝙀. Unlike their ancient 𝙉𝙀 subraces, normal 𝙉𝙀 are often seen as mixed blood 𝙉𝙀, or not pure-blooded as they were back in ancient Terra.
I think I have to stop glazing Arknights, but more I'm seeing the arts, like I have to appreciate like the atmosphere I can get just like solely from the fucking picture. For instance, this like seeing solely just this picture, I'm getting like really like huge ominous like energy. I can like see the power, but also at the same time the background feels a little bit, let's say, moody. I can feel a little bit tension, I can feel the power, the fear, a lot of things from the picture.
Banshee 𝙉𝙀 are unique.
Also, I have to say like huge kudos to this dude, because the amount of the information that I got in the like last 12 minutes plus the 20 or ish before, that's actually a ridiculous amount of the information.
As they are a majority an all-female matriarchy subrace of 𝙉𝙀. However, there are male Banshee 𝙉𝙀, but they are rare. We only know of one male Banshee, and that is Logos, who happens to be the heir to the Banshee 𝙉𝙀's throne. Banshee 𝙉𝙀 have a manipulation of vocal and sound arts, and a connection with death, often seen as the guardians of the dead.
This is actually really interesting information because I believe I steal it from one of you guys so I can clear some event. And like now knowing like his kind of history, it make perfect sense. Like the translation into like his spell in a game is actually like very surprising, and like knowing more about the character and like the origin and like seeing what these characters do in a game, it makes the, I guess it makes the bond a little bit stronger to play the game even more.
Cyclops 𝙁𝙀𝙒 live in
Oh,
the
this
northern
chick looks
nation of
nice.
Terra, Summi.
Maybe
Here
it's
they
the
live
tattoo
away
or
from their violent
whatever it is.
relatives. Cyclopses moved to Summi after the Cyclops Lord of Fiends was murdered by other 𝙁𝙀𝙒s. Cyclopses have the ability to see into the future or have visions to see what may come. It is said that these visions can be pretty accurate. Cyclopses are one of the two 𝙁𝙀𝙒 subraces that deal with the dangers of the Collapsals. Damacy isn't an entire subrace, but an ancient 𝙁𝙀𝙒 with the ability to shapeshift and multiply itself into more individuals. Diablo 𝙁𝙀𝙒s are said to be one of the most powerful 𝙁𝙀𝙒 subraces, with the ability of strong fire arts. However, this subrace is said to be
This is an
extinct.
NPC, isn't it?
With few pieces of Diablo shards left, one shard was fused with Ifrit, a Suvra, now merged
This
with
chick looks
such a
crazy.
shard,
I can
giving her
tell.
traits and abilities of the fiery ancient subrace. We recently
Just
found
look
out
at her
about
eyes.
𝙁𝙁𝙒, and sometimes they're known as Heart Whipper or Mind 𝙁𝙀𝙒.
This character looks
𝙁𝙁𝙒
so
have a
beautiful.
unique art, which is to do with heart, mind, and emotions. Similar to their vampire relatives, they have to control their hunger,
He looks
but
adorable.
for emotions instead of blood. Unlike vampires, however, they do have more control or found other ways to get over this. A vast majority of 𝙁𝙁 don't even live in 𝙁𝙁. This is because 𝙁𝙁 are very sensitive to emotions, especially negative ones. The leader of the 𝙁𝙁 is known as the Archliar. Currently, we don't know if they have an Archliar at this moment. We currently know of two 𝙁𝙁, Nymph and her sister working as Rhode Island's HR director, who is clouded in mystery.
That's actually crazy because like just seeing the atmosphere, like listen this a little bit lore about the land, I would feel I'm having like literally depression just like seeing the entire atmosphere in that country, and then you have like this like really really cute character, like it's kind of crazy seeing these key. That's key to my heart.
Gargoyles, said to be one of the most ancient of all 𝙁𝙀𝙒 subraces. This subrace of 𝙁𝙀𝙒 has control over soil, stone, and earth, often called the children of the soil and the stone. They have earth arts manipulation, and even said to have conversations or talks with the earth and the soil.
Okay.
Unlike the rest of the 𝙁𝙀𝙒 subraces, the Goliath 𝙁𝙀𝙒 aren't part of the royal 𝙁𝙁 court, and are known if they have a leader or not. But majority of the 𝙁𝙀𝙒's enemies we do see are apparently Goliaths. Liches are the bookworms of the 𝙁𝙀𝙒 and very powerful.
This literally looks like an old ass Lucifer. There's gonna be some like devil, demon.
With the ability to manipulate space and dimensions to a vast degree.
Kinda sounds like it.
Cute lich that everyone loves.
Oh, crazy
once
lich.
said that she could transport the entirety of Lefania.
What is this? Like, does she has a hole in her heart? Or in her chest? Like, what is this rope?
If she wanted to. Is that a bluff or not? We don't know, but if true, an amazing feat. Not only do they have space control arts, but they are also completely immortal, unlike their other fantasy counterparts. They store their souls or life in a phylactery. Revenants are a spirit soul-like race of 𝙁𝙀𝙒. This subrace isn't technically born, but more created, as the 𝙁𝙀𝙒 will put their body and soul in the soul furnaces of 𝙁𝙁. They can inhabit objects. Nazira are based on ghouls. This subrace,
I feel like almost like every race is probably like interesting to me, but like seeing these two characters and like knowing they are like goals, I think for some reason maybe it's the character design, I don't know, but like so far this is my most interesting race
of 𝙁𝙀𝙒 are one of the physically strongest ones on Terra. One of the reasons for their strength comes from their deep cultural aspects of cannibalism, and eating their enemies. In return, they gain increased strength and power, as well as memories and abilities of those that they have ate. The stronger 𝙉𝙀 often let the weaker ones take a bite out of their body, so they basically gain power-ups.
If I happen to play this stage, I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack. I think I've never seen like so many NPCs or like so many enemies at the same time in the game.
𝙉𝙀 King happens to be one of the oldest characters in game, is around 7,000 years old, potentially older, as he was around with the first
How old were
𝙉𝙀s.
these two
He's
chicks?
often known as the War Incarnate, due to the 𝙉𝙀 becoming far more powerful in wars due to eating the bodies and powering themselves up. Like the vampire myths of our world, vampire 𝙉𝙀s are
The right
bloodsuckers. They feed on
Top
blood
notch.
as well as strong blood arts manipulation. Similar to the 𝙉𝙀, they have an ability to empower others with blood blessings. Vampire 𝙉𝙀s
Blessing.
have a thirst for
Yeah,
blood,
sure,
which
buddy.
is a hunger they have to control, making them very fearful, even to other 𝙉𝙀s. The Wendigos are a subrace of 𝙉𝙀s that are tall and have an exposed skull, thus they wear a mask. Fortunately, there are no longer any pure-blood Wendigo left on Terra, with the last one being Patriot. However, there are still Wendigo 𝙉𝙀s in the north of Ursus, led by the Wendigo King, fighting
All the time I'm seeing the lines, I feel like it's like very polarizing, you know what I mean? Like seeing anything related to the lines, it feels like a novel, and it's giving me the vibes that two like really huge like polarizing species fighting against each other, like yin and yang, so to speak.
the thread of the Collapsals. Just like the 𝙉𝙀, the Wendigo are one of the physically strongest and have cannibalism deep in their culture. We would have to see if there
I
are
think
more
I don't wanna
𝙉𝙀
be in
subraces in the future.
In this race.
Now we move on to 𝙉𝙀's sibling races. First being the Anasa. This race separated from the 𝙉𝙀s and moved to Yan, distancing themselves from more wars and difficult relatives. While they kept some 𝙉𝙀's culture, overall their culture has changed. While we still don't know much about them, they do live in the wilds of Yan in tribes. Oni, a group of 𝙉𝙀s that broke away from Kazdel after the 𝙉𝙀's Lord of Fiends Kolum was killed. They moved to where Higashi is now and became the Oni, resembling some parts of the 𝙉𝙀s such as horns, but much more muscular.
You know what's crazy? Let's say I know everything about the lore and the races. Still, if I happen to see the character with like horn, I would like assume it's some type of character and it's gonna be like different race. What I'm trying to say is there are so many races with like very similar traits or the appearances, but yet they are like so different. It's kind of mind-blowing, and also in a sense it's kind of like freaking me out.
Sancta. Despite their angelic appearance, this race belongs to the 𝙉𝙀's family.
It's some
However,
holy
unlike
spirits.
the Anasa or Oni, who diverged from the 𝙉𝙀's heritage, they were 𝙉𝙀s that accepted a forced evolution or change by an outside power known as the Law, gaining light wings and a halo, which gives them 6 like sense. This race has been in a grudging conflict with their cousins, the 𝙉𝙀s, who saw
That's actually kind of crazy, like seeing the guns. Dude literally have his stuff and like fuck it up.
the change nothing more as a traitorous move. Fallen Sancta are also a thing, which is a Sancta that has broken the rules of the law and starts to grow horns or regain horns. Now we move on to races that we aren't sure where they fit in, or if they fit in at all. Beast Lords. These entities are talking animals that have been around Terra for countless eras. Some of them show peculiar abilities such as immortality or teleportation. Supposedly, most races in Terra have their own Beast Lord
This looks
representative,
beautiful.
but only a handful have ever been shown so far.
This looks
Pheromones.
really nice.
This is a race that you could
Cannot say
describe
the same
as
thing about the
living
penguin.
gods or entities. They have unimaginable powers and abilities, get big as nations, they have an immunity to erypathy, even have their own space-dimensional travel. However, it is hinted at these beings aren't from
Technology.
Terra, but also unsure when they arrived on the world. There are many pheromones around the world, and we
Yo,
only
what
know
is
of a few.
this?
𝙉𝙀𝙒𝙖 is a
Damn.
Furamut. 𝙉𝙀𝙒𝙄𝙀, the protector of Ǩeģērag, the Lifebone, seen in episode 13, despite being dead, still has a conscience. It's noted that they can be killed, but they don't truly die. Another Furamut we know is 𝙬𝙀, not to be confused with Sarkaz 𝙬𝙀. This Furamut was a rival
already
to
confused.
𝙬𝙗. Operators like Ling, Dusk and their siblings are all fragments of the Furamut known as 𝙬𝙗. Elf. Similar to other fantasy
Finally.
elves, they are
I was actually like wondering, like seeing so many resemblances to like different animals and like this and that, vampires, ghouls. I was like, when we finally get to see the elf. Also, like when I think about it, are we gonna have like orcs and like dwarfs at the same time?
humanoid, pointed-eared race. Despite that they may have a long-lived lives, they are very weak to orogenium and oripathy. Unlike other races, they are very susceptible to oripathy. If an elf catches oripathy, they basically have a month to live. This makes elves
It's game
very
over.
rare, but there are some found in 𝙬𝙗.
I would
It's
thought it's
indicated
the
that
other
they
way
are
around.
descendants of a Furamut. Durin. Like the dwarves of mythology and other fantasy, this small subterranean race lives in the underground nation of Durin. Despite their size, these little ones are excellent miners, crafters, geologists, and very heavy drinkers. Durins are a fairly peaceful race, as they live in an underground utopia compared to the other races above. However, some brave or adventurous or even bored Durin will adventure above ground. Last but not least, we are going to be talking about is you. Yes, you, the Doctor. The Doctor belongs to a race known as the First Civilization, another non-native race that arrived on Terra more than 13,000 years ago. You could say that they used Terra as an experimental ground, while also
Now it kinda makes sense. So you telling me we having 3 million different species because of the experiment? That's kinda, I don't know, like it's crazy, but also feels like so wrong and like vicious. Like, are we actually good guys?
planning to protect civilization from a certain threat. Unfortunately, this civilization may be responsible for the majority of the greatest threats on Terra. This race faced a great threat from beyond, leaving you, the Doctor, the last known surviving person of its kind on Terra. It is unknown if there are more out there.
How
Trevor
old is the
Friston
Doctor?
one of the Doctor's race. Prior to him becoming a preserver, we may know of one more, and that is Priestess. However,
You guys mentioned this chick in my very first Arknight impression video. I was asked if I'm on a side of some chick or the priestess. I guess that's another content to my to-do list, like knowing a little bit more about the priestess.
don't know if this individual has good or bad intention. There are many
Okay.
hidden dangers and threats within and out of the supercontinent of Terra, lurking in the sea or even the stars. If not handled carefully, it might result in the end of Terra. Here in this section, we will discuss most prominent ones that we know of. Seaborn. They are one of the growing threats in Terra. As their name suggests, they
I mean, seeing the seaborne activity and like this basically underground city, well, how can I put it? I wouldn't feel like so safe to live
came
right
from
there.
the deep ocean, plaguing the nations of 𝙁𝙀𝙀 underwater and Iberia on land. Their evolutionary rates are extremely fast, enabling them to adapt to all sorts of things and simulate everything around them. Their colonies are connected by a hive mind. A cult known as the Church of the Deep are supporting the spread of the
Church of the Deep.
Collapsals. They are best described as extra-dimensional entities originating from an unknown dimension. They are referred to as demons by other Terrans and possess an ability to corrupt other beings. Collapsals originated from two different places: a mystery gate in the infinite ice fields and the
Seeing this picture and the previous one, it's like yin and yang, black and white, pure holy power and like pure evil. Also, actually seeing this circle, it kind of reminds me the movie Oblivion, like the end of the world, and like you seeing some old architecture of the building vanished like across the entire land.
Fohn Hotlands. Simply knowing their name is hazardous. hence why any form of knowledge about them is heavily suppressed by the Terran nations. The Observer. We currently know nothing about this godlike being. It is shrouded in mystery, and Terra is currently hidden from its sight.
We don't even know like how it's look like.
The only thing we do know, it was a reason that the first civilization has gone from Terra, and that they had to build a fake sky to hide Terra from its sight. Another thing we do know is that it wants Terra, and it's coming whenever the races of Terra and you like it or not. And that is where we come to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this video.
Well, first of all, I would at least want to know like how many races we got. I feel like we maybe covered at least like 70 different races or the species, which like overall I never thought is gonna be like that many. I gotta be like completely honest, I've watched now 2 videos about the Arknights lore, and I still feel like I know pretty much nothing. Like, don't get me wrong, like everything is like super interesting to me, but I still feel like I barely like scratching the surface. And I mean like quite literally. And also like this video is like so interesting that it ending at some kind of like I wouldn't say like a cliffhanger, but it giving me the vibes that like, hey, we got this many characters or this many races, it's really vast and like really rich in details, information and the lore. But hey, like there is so much more shit that we don't even know about. I just have to say, like, for such a tower defense game, like this is insanely profound, which I believe gonna make my game a little bit more interesting. Which character I'm gonna put it in based on some different lore. But anyway, like I said guys, if you happen to stick around a little longer, there is way more content to coming out, and maybe feel free to join the Discord so you won't miss any new videos. Anyway, great video, hopefully see you next time, and meanwhile have a lovely day. Take care.